The reason why I think this is going to be the greatest Civil War game ever made is because every Civil War game, no matter how great, has always been made me wanting more. So, like a good example is Civil War Two. Incredible, incredible Civil War game. My go to Civil War game, but there's no tactical side. And the order of battle is a little bit, you have to get used to it. It's not as smooth and it's a little, clunky because it's like tiles or cards and stuff like that. This game has everything I want. Besides the tactical and the strategic side, it has things like production, right? It has an entire trade system that I didn't even touch yet. Like I didn't even go into the trade and manufacturing system because they're
Well, you don't touch that.
Yeah, it's indirect.
It's indirect. You don't actually control it. So the way the economy works in the game basically is the economy is running in the background, and the war or different policies that you issue can impact the economy, but you do not manually adjust anything in production or trade or anything like that.
why does it say auto manage trade? Like there was like it had a selected. It said auto manage, and I left it
I
checked.
don't have it up right now, but I think it was on the finance screen. There's a check for auto managed finances, and this is to manage.
So your interaction with the economy are two ways. One is your policy screen, which you can auto manage as well, but that's basically where you set like, I want to print more money. I want to focus on, a grain economy to help our relations with Europe. If you're the union, there's I want to invest more in industry, those kind of things, and that influences the economy. Another thing that influences the economy is on the finance screen. You can set subsidies for certain industries. You can set funding for different parts of the economy. And that's what drives your economic output. So, you might subsidize agriculture, which can have a direct impact on your relations with the British, because in this period of time, Europe was having a series of crop failures that meant that King Cotton became almost, or King Corn, as they called it, became almost as important as King Cotton. And so the fact that the British were dependent on exports of corn from the United States played a not insignificant role in convincing the British to remain out of the war as well. So, there are those kind of things that you do influence the economy, but you do not manage production directly. You do not directly manage trade. I will say there are ways to influence trade. This is made by deduction. I don't think these elements are in the game yet, really. But like, if you're in the Confederacy, this is going to be much more important for you, because as the Union starts taking key areas, they're going to take industries. There are on the strategic map, there are industrial facilities in every town, city, or whatnot that produce different goods, that export different goods. And as the Union starts taking portions of your country, you might start having parts of your economy seized by the Union. That can result in you having shortages of different goods, or the British or the blockade by the Union can result in you having shortages on goods you have to import. And that can influence pricing of different goods in your economy. That can lead to shortages that reduce the satisfaction of the population. So it's not Victoria-esque. You're not micromanaging the economy, but the economy is there. It is robust. It's substantial, and you interact with it in the way that a chief of state or a head of state would, in that you direct policy, but you don't necessarily go into Chicago to say expand your production of meat packing plants or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I love the fact that you can like if you go into I believe the trade system, it actually has like prices for each like good, like for small arms or like for bread and stuff like that, and those prices change. And I'm assuming if you take over or do the blockade, those Confederate prices for bread or for exports, goes up and down depending on like their ability to export and import stuff.
Yep.
So I do love that. Like, so it adds a lot, like you were saying, a lot of depth to the economy and the manufacturing system, and how that manufacturing system and economy kind of represents itself into the strategic warfare side.